Hey everybody, this is Agnes. I have been watching a series of videos and then wound up watching some TikToks. And, somebody that speaks on mental health, misinformation and disinformation is very dangerous. I don't think that the content creators realize that people that have mental health challenges have a tendency, not all of us, but there are some of us that have a tendency to fixate on these things. And it's very unhealthy. So today on BS Debunkers, we're going to be talking about Philip Zeba, the pyramid power plant theory, and other nonsense he's selling. Oh man. Welcome to Facts versus Philip, where science wins and conspiracies cry. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, gather round because today we're diving deep into the wild world of conspiracy on TikTok, starring none other than Philip Zeba. You know, the guy who thinks Egyptian pyramids at Giza, yes, those giant stone triangles, were actually power plants. Because apparently, ancient civilizations needed electricity to charge their iPhones and power their what exactly? Their stone tablets? And, the pyramids. The worst aerodynamic power source built using advanced alien technology and limestone? Sure, that makes total sense, Philip. You've really cracked the code on this one. Forget years of archaeological evidence. What we really need is your TikTok video shot in 720p on a smartphone to enlighten us all. How could we have missed this? Now, Philip, I know you're really big on making things accessible for the masses. So let me break this down really simply. If necessary, I can draw it out for you in crayon. But you see that pyramid? It's made of giant stone blocks, not copper, not batteries, not Tesla coils. You following so far? Now, here's where you lose me. You're telling us this thing was an ancient power plant. Okay, where's the wiring, Philip? The transformers, the anything remotely related to electrical generation. Did the pharaohs just rub two limestone blocks together and spark up the grid? Buddy, electrical requires conductive materials like copper or, metals that actually transmit energy, not giant hunks of rocks. Rocks don't conduct electricity. If they did, we'd be charging our phones with pebbles. Duh. But meanwhile, in reality, Philip has more. In his quest for truth, he calls scientists Google debunkers. Ah, yes. The people who spend decades researching and proving things with actual evidence are clearly Googling stuff because the scientific method is just a fancy term for let me Google that real quick. Now, if I were to Google how to make a power plant out of rocks, hold on, let me actually try that. Okay, 0 results found. Would you look at that? Looks like Google can't even help Philip on this one. I guess we'll have to rely on actual science. The boring kind that uses research, physics, and common sense. What a drag, right? Now, so here's the thing, Philip. The pyramids were built as tombs. They weren't power plants. They weren't ancient Wi-Fi towers. They were fancy mausoleums for pharaohs. And guess what? Archaeological people have been working and studying on them for hundreds of years. And not one has found anything even remotely resembling an electrical system. And believe me, they looked really hard. But hey, Philip, your content isn't just silly. Oh no, it's actually dangerous, dude. There are people out there with mental health struggles who get sucked into this rabbit hole of nonsense. They start fixating on these theories and like there's some kind of secret knowledge and it becomes their reality. And that's just not fun on TikTok, that's harmful. There are vulnerable people who look to creators like you, Philip, as if you're some kind of sage, when really you're just wrong. Dangerously wrong. You're not helping people expand their minds, you're leading them down a path of misinformation. You're not doing anyone any favors. You call scientists Google debunkers, but really, Philip, you're just a BS spreader. I mean, come on, man. At least try to use a scientific method before you make claims that can be debunked by a sixth grader's science project. Maybe instead of maybe try something different and come up with new material that could be revolutionary, talking about some of the new cutting edge science. And spreading that knowledge. Spreading misinformation is negativity, man. You don't realize that. And reading some of those books, talking to real scientists, those Google debunkers you seem to hate so much, you might even learn something that benefits society. I know, crazy idea. But Philip, here's the truth. Pyramids aren't power plants. They're just big, heavy tombs. And Egyptians weren't running secret electrical grids. They were burying their kings. And while it's easy to fall for these flashy conspiracy theories, and at the end of the day, they're just that, theories, and bad ones at that. So, Philip, maybe next time, instead of peddling misinformation, you could try something that actually benefits society, like promoting scientific literacy, or, just not making stuff up. We'd all appreciate it. Until then, we'll be over here in reality where facts are free and rocks don't power ancient societies. Thanks for watching, folks, and remember, always fact check your sources. And don't believe everything that you see on TikTok or YouTube or any of these platforms. And Philip, seriously, if you want, I can mail you these crayons. They're yours, free of charge, just like the electric coming out of these non-existent pyramid power plants. But anyway, I did want to, I'm going to go through a little bit of a background here. Just a couple statements. Now, number one, there is no evidence of electrical technology at the pyramids, period. None. Number two, the materials used, it's almost impossible. I always have to say almost because there's always that, weird chance. But the materials that were used, there's no way they would generate electricity. So that's number two. Number three, there was no power source. they didn't have any form of electrical generation. So if you don't have a power source, you can't make electricity. It works just like it does for us. So I mean, come on, man. And then the function of the pyramids were definitely tombs. Starting off with the step tombs, you know, the ones that actually had, like, looks like they had steps on them and were more basic when they first started out. Yeah, they were tombs. And tomb raiders took what was on the inside. That's why that's why the Valley of the Kings, they started burying and turning it into secret caves and stuff. Because they saw the desecration of the pyramids. So yeah, that's why you don't see any, usually wind up finding any kind of mummies and anything left over. Because they were robbed. So that is a common fact. So guys, no. And then there's an absence of associated electrical equipment. Like, where's the light bulbs? Where's the, you know, were did they have power, you know, supposedly were there power doors? I mean, what did they use it for? So there's no evidence of any kind of technology they could have used the electricity with. And number 6, misinterpretation of ancient artifacts happens all the time. You're looking at something ancient through a modern eye. And sorry, those big old, that one, and I've seen it. It's this one Egyptian carving to where it looks like a huge eggplant almost being you know, carried by somebody. They don't really think that, oh wow, they transported water and skins and wine and stuff like that, and that was probably a design on it. No, it has to be a light bulb. Oh, just because it, you know, the shape of the carving kind of looks like a light bulb. No, they didn't have light bulbs, but they did have wineskins. And lack of scientific feasibility. I mean, dude, they would have had electrical powered tools. They would have had all kinds of stuff. No, they didn't have, and like, I don't see any ancient jackhammers somewhere in Egypt. So, yeah. I mean, think about these theories before you even remotely post them, Philip. You pick some dumb stuff. I mean, the pyramids are not power sources. They didn't light up. They didn't glow. And putting white limestone on, they would have been covered in white limestone, which has even less silica in content to it. So, no, it would have even been like less conductive. I've actually argued that with people outside of this and proven it. So no, so when you're coming up and looking at interesting ideas, you don't want to be that guy who's peddling BS. You don't want to be that guy that's putting that out into the world. You're putting that negativity out into the world. Man, just stop. Please. For the sake of anything rational. Pick up a book on just archaeology in general. And if you look through all of the different digs that have been done and all of the detailed drawings and the analysis of the stone and what was found and blah blah blah. Have you ever been on an archaeological dig? I'm just asking. But I have, and I'm not an archaeologist. I am not Milo, Mr. Mini Minute Man, who is awesome. But, dude, I've actually been to a dig at the Cahokia Mounds, and everybody always talks about the Mississippian culture, and there's all kinds of stuff involved, conspiracy theories involving all that. Oh my God. I have been there, and I've actually sat there and helped with the little brushes, digging stuff out of the ground and helping with analysis. So if you haven't gone through any of the scientific procedure, don't be don't post stuff that you don't know about. Because when you post something, it's almost like you're saying that you're an expert on said topic. You're not. So just stop. Real science is always fascinating. And there's other stuff that you're just totally neglecting, like the black matter going on at CERN and the super collider. And yeah, there actually could be some nasty repercussions if there was an accident. There are a lot of what if stuff, scientific what if stuff, that is stupidly fascinating, that is legit. And you could actually be opening people's minds to new forms of science. So stop being the BS spreader and try to be more Bill Nye. But I'm going to end it on this note. Milo, I watched your videos, man. They were awesome. Thank you.